So I'm going to talk about This Is Us, Renault Martinez. Basically, this is a show about Jack Pearson, Rebecca Pearson, Kate Pearson, Randall Pearson, Kevin Pearson, the wife of Randall, Beth. I'm looking at the cast now. Toby, which is the husband of Kate. William was the father of Randall, who passed. Miguel is now the father, married to Rebecca. And that's pretty much it. It's these cast of characters. When they sorry for the Coca-Cola, not product placement. I'm sorry. I'll try to get it out of here. Let me talk about This Is Us. I remember when I was on Twitter, they had a little trailer, and I don't know if it was the cinematography or what it was. It looked like a movie, and it was the trailer, the teaser trailer for the pilot, the first season of This Is Us. And I looked at it, and I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know anything, but I looked at the trailer and I thought, bro, this feels like a movie. I go, this feels like one of those romantic comedy movies or something. It feels like a movie in theaters that's coming out, and it's a TV show, so I was hooked. And I saw the episode. I just saw it, not on TV. I saw it later, and I was hooked. I said, bro, I love this show. It took me a while to get into the first season, but I saw it, and I was watching it, and I went back and saw it with my mother and my sister and the family, and we saw it. And then we kind of like after season 2, I kind of started going, okay, this show sucks. This Is Us is kind of sucks. And what it sucks at is that they're always like, don't worry, we have all this family story that you're going to want to know about. But you can't, it's just not going to work because Jack is dead. And they were always like, oh, it's not important how Jack died. We're not going to talk about how Jack died. It's going to be a long time till we get into it. And then in the second season, they basically showed you at the Super Bowl episode how he died, and it's over. I find that to be shame on the writers that they're like, oh, well, people want to know why Jack is dead. People want to know about how Miguel and Rebecca got together. People want to know. It's like, oh, basically, whenever a fan is annoying them, going, we want to know about this mystery. We want to know about this. They lie and go, oh, we're not going to talk about that. We have other things that are more important. And then they realize, no, we don't have anything that's more important. That is the butter. That is the glue. That is the oil. That is when fans want to know who is Rey's parents in The Last Jedi, they tell you who her parents are. And it just goes to show you they didn't have any ideas. They didn't have any ideas. And I'm going to tell you what ideas are. Ideas are to think outside the box. So for me, I remember when I was watching William die, I thought, why can't he be a con man? I go, why can't, and you're not gonna go with me on this, but I don't give a shit. I know this is a stupid idea. I did it for Glee, I do it for things. Sometimes I like to get into my head and think about a TV show and imagine where that show can go, waiting for them to actually show you the show. And I know that's like, that's like being a writer. I think Jack and William should be like a Frank Cotton from Ocean's 11 who was Bernie Mac. I wish he would be a con man. I wish he would be like a Saul. I wish he was like an old guy who he decided years ago that he was going to get into cons. So they could show the young version of him in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and then they could show the old version of him being alive. They should have kept it that he conned Randall and his family. And then at first you think, is he really my father? Is he really my dad? And then you realize maybe he isn't. Maybe he is. Fine, we'll see. But they take you on that journey as a writer. They don't just go, oh, it's your dad because he's your dad, because we said it was your dad. He'll con him a little. He'll go, that's not how cons work. Like you look at a con man, William, the black father, he could have conned him into dying because there was a even worse person coming after his family. That he owes them money, and he was trying to do a con. He had to go somewhere else, so he just didn't want. I know it sounds terrible. I know what you're thinking. This sounds like the worst idea ever. It is not the worst idea ever. I can imagine Randall looking at his father, William, going, my father's a con man, like Ocean's 11. And it's a lot harder to say you're a con man. It's not like, oh, I just steal money from a bank or this. He lives like a con man, the same way Sawyer and Kate and Lost did it. He's great at conning people. And then you end up realizing that, yes, he is his dad, but, his son is an idiot. His son is working in movies. He could steal millions of dollars. So that was just William. I thought he should be a con man. I thought that his death should be faked, and that he knows Jack. That Jack and him do cons together, and Jack is in an IMF type mission force place, which you look at and you go, there's no way that Jack Pearson would be involved in the government, an IMF or something that's like this secret, covert. It sounds horrible. I know you're not going to go with me. I know you think this is the worst writing, but what are you going to do? You're just going to have a show where he's old now and it's a hallucination. He's old now and this is the mom thinking about him. Wouldn't it be great if he was just alive? Like, why can't we just rip that Band-Aid off and go, dude, we suck. We're stupid writers. We shouldn't have killed him. And if he was dead, that's a story. Bringing him back to life, him, William and Jack knowing each other, doing cons, working for the government, it shifts the show. It shifts the show to say, now it's like Homeland. Now it's like Ocean's 11. Now it's like Mission Impossible. Now it can have danger and villains and be like the Blacklist. And it could be, and you go, well, that's not the show we wanted to make. But what show do you want to make? Toby and Kate being boring, looking at like puppy pictures and buying a puppy and crying over her weight, and like that shit was okay for the first 2 seasons. For season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, for up to go Grey's Anatomy with this shit, to go spin-offs and do greater than we could ever do. Yeah, it's family, but do a little Ocean's 11, do a little Mission Impossible. And one of the things I wanted to do, there was a real story about a woman who got outside her car. I think it was a man. It was either a man or a woman, and they got outside their car to take a selfie at a picture somewhere that was like a welcome to Miami or something. It was like a little welcome sign, and they got hit by a car. It was a hit and run, and they killed them, and they kept going. And I said, why isn't this Randall? Why isn't this Kevin? Why isn't this Kate? Why didn't they do like a whole story of like, Randall becoming a con man, Randall becoming like, he killed somebody in a hit and run. Is he going to tell anybody? Does he go to the prison? Does he? Just ideas, just stupid ass ideas, because this show is so boring. We already got it. She met a guy at a weight loss thing. He was the only guy that ever liked her, and they didn't even put her with Duke. I'm sorry, but why isn't she? Duke was awesome. He was a guy who just wanted to have sex with her outright. He was a guy who was like, you are sexy and you're beautiful and I'd fuck you. And they didn't even do that. They didn't even put those characters together. She should totally cheat on Toby, have a baby with Duke, and I'm Team Duke. And then the father, we want to see that Ben, the boyfriend, maybe he could be a guy in this impossible mission force. Maybe he could be a guy who all this time is either a villain or something, or just a boyfriend. But I'd like to see Jack come back to life. I'd like to see William come back. I'd like to see William be a con man and Jack work for the government, a secret IMF type organization. I know it sounds horrible. I know what you're thinking. These are the worst ideas. But I do not want to see another fucking him in old makeup at a wedding for his daughter. Him in old makeup talking to his daughter. She's crazy. Him in old makeup. And, oh my God, Jack is still alive. Like, yes, Jack is still alive, and they've known about it. That'd be funny if they were like, we had to keep it a secret, blah, blah, blah. Just seeing the young generation of the kids, the ones who are the teenage version and the young kids version, the 10-year-old, 12-year-old version and the teenager versions, seeing this whole world work, I don't know. I'd love to see William as a con man, Ocean's 11. I'd love to see Jack as an Ethan Hunt. Spin that shit off. Make it about the fathers. It's not about the Manny. It's not about Deja or all that bullshit. I mean, the show is really becoming, heartstrings and crying. Bro, make this shit with some fucking action, man. Put some action in this fucking show. Make it real. Change the fucking dynamic. Make this shit awesome, because it's just getting fucking boring. They literally said they would never talk about Jack's death, and then they were like, it was an old couple that gave him a fucking toaster or some shit, some easy bake oven or some mierda, and it just fucking caused the house on fire. Then the fire didn't kill him. Come on, man. The fire didn't kill him. He saved his photos. He saved the dog. He saved everybody. Then he goes to the fucking hospital, and he has a fucking heart attack. They could induce heart attack with a heart attack gun. There's so much shit you could do. Please bring them back to fucking life. Get writers. Think outside the box. Imagine that this is a new pilot for a new show with action and adventure. Please do not fuck up This Is Us with boring ass shit. Put Duke as a fucking sexual guy for Kate. Put fucking Ben as a guy who's cheating with Miguel. Both daughters are cheating. Both them cheating. Put more of the mom. Put some fucking more, because this shit sucks. They had the old man doctor. I don't want to say old man doctor. I know it's McRaney. They have the old man doctor. He was like sitting by himself, and he was always by himself, and then he dates a woman. And then years later, he's even older, and he shows up to the funeral, and it's like, come on, make him a fucking spy, bro. Do this shit. Bring the fucking characters together. Come on, this show fucking sucks. Please make him a con man. Please make him an IMF. Come up with another name. It's going to be so much fun, because this show is boring the shit out of me with its sweetness and its bullshit. And when the show first came on, it was just, oh, it's everybody sharing a birthday. Oh, this guy has a birthday. She has a birthday. This celebrity has a birthday. This is a family having a birth of kids. And then it was all them together. It was so awesome how it just weaved into that. Weave it again. Please change the show. This show is dying. It's going to be boring in season 3. It's going to be boring in season 4. It's going to be boring in season 5. We need the fathers to be alive. We need Duke. We need Ben. We need bad guys. We need fucking horror. Whatever the fuck. Do something, because this is boring. I'm sorry. I will watch it, but I'll go, God, why am I watching this shit? It's so stupid. So, whatever. Out.